In particular, I want to start by reaffirming our deep support for the circumstances of Victorians. We know that this is a very hard time right across Victoria. There will be families that will be dealing with difficult conditions. There will be families that will have been separated and circumstances that are hard for so many people. And we said yesterday we thought this was a regrettable but necessary step given the circumstances on the ground. There is, however, real hope with the results overnight. The level of testing, the level of contact tracing, and the fact that the case numbers were limited. Professor Kelly will go into that in more detail, but there is real cause for hope. I think the situation in our observation is very different to a year ago, and I think that's on three grounds. Firstly, the contact tracing system in Victoria is vastly improved, and we congratulate and we respect the work of the Victorians on that front. Secondly, this lockdown has come very early in the process, and I know that I spoke with my counterpart Martin Foley on Tuesday night. The Prime Minister has spoken with the Victorian Acting Premier along the way, and we indicated that if Victoria were to move early, they would have our support, and they have done that, and that's to their credit. There are obviously significant events which have led to transmission, but they have moved early. So that's the second point. And then the third, of course, is that we now have the vaccination program in the aged care facilities that, on all advice I have before joining you, is expected to have all facilities in Commonwealth residential aged care having been vaccinated by the end of today. So those three things mean this is a very different outbreak than a year ago. Nevertheless, we have to watch and we have to do all that we can to assist. On that front, the Commonwealth will be providing 160 defence personnel to assist Victoria. In particular, this will assist with compliance and other tasks relating to close contacts. That allows Victorian authorities to be deeply engaged in the contact tracing program. That request has been made by Victoria to the Commonwealth. I think there's some formal paperwork still to come, but we are planning now with Victoria to ensure that those Defence Force personnel are made available for the purposes which will most assist Victoria in helping to contain the outbreak and to protect Victorians. That remains our highest priority. In addition to that, I want to thank Victorians for coming forward to be tested and to be vaccinated. What we have seen is record numbers of vaccinations in Victoria and record numbers of vaccinations Australia-wide. In Victoria, we've seen over 41,000 people vaccinated in the last 24 hours. Australia-wide, we have had 124,871 people vaccinated in the last 24 hours. I think that's worth repeating and reinforcing. 124,871 people vaccinated Australia-wide in the last 24 hours. We want to thank everybody for coming forward. Each person is doing their bit to help protect themselves and to help protect the nation. We can do this. I know we can do this. We've done it before. We can do it again. And these are always challenging times in a global pandemic, and it is worth reflecting on the fact that this pandemic has seen, again, over 580,000 cases in the last 24 hours and more than 12,700 lives lost. And so, as difficult and challenging as it has been and is right now in Victoria, we see the level of the pandemic on the global scale, and we know that we are in a very difficult position now in Victoria, but a very different position Australia-wide compared with a global pandemic which is continuing to have such a profound effect on lives and national circumstances. So I want to thank all Australians for coming forward, to urge all Australians who are eligible to continue to come forward. In particular, I think it's very important to note that we now have over 52% of our over 70s who have been vaccinated nationwide, and that's a real testament to every one of those people, and it's a testament to the spirit of Australians for coming forward.